Hi guys, my name's Roome. I'm a British girl who loves hiking in the UK and everything about nature and being outdoors. Today I want to talk about my top hiking kit for hiking in the mountains in the UK, which has been put together through a lot of trial and error, and as unfortunately there have been many a time when I've been out on a hike with incorrect kit, but now I think I've narrowed it down to the good stuff. So one of the key points to bear in mind, I think, about hiking generally is that when we exercise, we get hot. So when we get hot, our bodies need to cool down, and to do that, they sweat, as 80% of heat loss is achieved through evaporation. So when we're thinking about kit, we want kit that's going to let water evaporate whilst we're hiking, as the last thing you want to be is cold and damp on the top of a mountain. And on a basis level, we want kit that's also going to be able to be layered, as a good system will enable you to change your clothes as weather conditions vary on the mountain. Another thing I just want to mention quickly is that kit price obviously varies hugely, so go for what your budget can afford, as often a cheap item will be just as good as a more expensive item. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to touch on is base layers. Base layer is a layer that's in contact with the skin, and the body can temperature regulate more easily if it can keep a dry layer of air next to the skin. So if a base layer is sweat wicking, that can make an enormous difference to the effectiveness of all your other clothing. The first item I just showed there was a merino top, which I love as a good option to wear as a base layer. And next up I'm going to show some wool trousers. Now both of these are really good at keeping you insulated in particularly cold weather conditions that we can experience in the UK. In more sunny conditions, you might want to consider something like a sweat wicking t-shirt that has sleeves, as that will also help keep the sun off your shoulders and protect them from any rash you might get if you're carrying a heavy backpack whilst walking. So key things to look out for when you're choosing base layers are something that wicks perspiration away and keeps you dry on the skin, remains odour free, and merino is a great option for that. It's easy to wash and dry and is comfortable to wear with some level of sun protection. So next thing you want to think about are your mid layers. So these are things like jumpers and trousers, and these are my hiking trousers. They're great because they're really hard wearing. These are montane ones and they've got reinforced knees. I look for something like that that's not going to be ripped or torn easily. Again, these are great because they've got vents, which allows for extra ventilation in the legs, and also buttons around the ankles, which means you can adjust the hiking trousers around your boots. For tops, I go for something lightweight like this from Rab. I use this top so much for running and hiking. The long zip means it's really easy to get over your head if you're wearing a hat, for example, or a helmet. And you can see it's almost pretty see-through, but it has these lovely little pockets which trap warm air next to your body. So yeah, that's one of my favourites. Again, I'd say something with a long zip is always really helpful. So next up we've got outer layers. Now there are a couple of different options here. First I'm going to talk about things that are just more thermal jackets and then move on to waterproof. So this is a lightweight synthetic jacket by North Face. This is something I take in my hiking bag a lot in the summer because it's not super warm, but it does just add an extra layer of warmth over a jumper and is easy to stuff into a bag. Down jackets are really unparalleled in terms of their weight to warmth ratio. This is again Rab, another favourite, my down jacket that I wear in cooler conditions, in particular in the spring, autumn and through the winter in the UK. A good hood filled with down also makes a big difference. Now moving on to waterproof. So I'd say waterproof trousers and a good waterproof coat are key. These are my Berghaus waterproof trousers. The fit on these is great for me. Key point with these is it's good to have something, once again, that you can take on and off easily. They have zips all the way down the trouser leg and buttons over the zips to stop water from getting in, which means that they're really easy to take on and off over boots. So next up is my coat, and I would say this is something that's worth spending a bit more money on if you can afford it. You want to go for the most breathable and waterproof coat that your budget can afford. This is an Arc'teryx coat, and I find the really good features of this are that it's got both inner and outer pockets, which as you can see here are around the chest area, so you can have effectively a rucksack strap above those pockets and also waist strap below, and you'll still be able to access them. In addition to that, it's got a great hood with a wired peak, which means that you can protect your face from the elements, and adjustable sides there, so you can still have really good vision if you're wearing this and you want to see around you on a mountain top. Another thing that I love about this coat is it's got adjustable cuffs. They're just simple Velcro ones, but that again stops water getting in. And then again on the breathability, you can see this one has what are known as pit zips. Unfortunately, I'm having a bit of difficulty, as you'll see, getting into them in the footage here. Normally that's not the case, but you know, just whilst I was filming, it happened to be the case. But again, that helps with ventilation though and evaporation, and stops your clothes underneath from getting wet and sweaty even whilst you're keeping the water out. And again, it's adjustable around the base, which means that you can keep it fitted to you as you need. So next up, it's hiking boots. These are hand wag boots, which I bought not too long ago. I love them. I think the most important thing is to look out for a pair of boots that have a really good sole. Anything made by Vibram, I'd say, is very hard wearing and lasts for many, many years. So they're a great option. And you want something that's going to be waterproof as well and multi-purpose ideally. So socks are of course another essential item to have for hiking. Just important to have something that you're comfortable with, that fits well with your boots and doesn't fall down inside them. Gloves are crucial and can make all the difference when you're hiking. If your hands are cold, that can make you miserable, so also get a good pair of thermal waterproof gloves and have those in your bag even in summer conditions. Just to point out, of course, again, I took lots of footage when it was snowing recently, and things can get really cold in the UK, so please always have those gloves and warm kit in your bag, which will include a hat. It's a good idea to have a variety of hat options, perhaps a beanie for when you stop in cold conditions on the mountain. Something lined like this is ideal. And that's crucial because basically up to 33% of body heat is lost through your head, so it can have a huge impact. Some sort of headscarf like this is also great to have, as you can have that around your head or neck and can give some protection. So next up, non-clothing items. So this is an OS map, and if you've watched my last video, you'll know that I adore OS Explorer maps. I'd always have one of those in my bag for navigation in the mountains in the UK. And in addition to that, I'd always have one of these. This is perhaps a bit of a safety measure. It's a thermal foil bag, which you could get into if you got into difficulties in the mountains, or anyone you were with could, just to keep them safe and warm. That again is from Cotswold Outdoors, I think. So this is my head torch. Another thing I always have in my hiking bag, it's Black Diamond. It's a great one because it's also got a red light feature, which means you can read your map in the dark without blinding yourself if you get caught out a little bit later than you're expecting on the hills and on your hike home. So following the torch, the other thing I'd always have in my bag is a whistle. This one again is just a cheap one. It doesn't weigh anything. I think as an extra safety precaution, it's just great to have something like that. Again, in the bottom of your bag, you can forget about it, but I'd always have that on me just in case. Now the next item is optional really. So these are gaiters. Now you're going to think about these depending on what type of walk you're going on. They perhaps are a bit outdated, but they can be really useful on very muddy ground where socks would otherwise be saturated in water, or if you're walking off the beaten track on heather covered ground, for example. And now the compass. So this is a silver compass. It's my favourite. I wouldn't go hiking in the mountains without one of these, in particular as it can get very foggy and you need to be able to find your way off a mountaintop. So that's pretty much an essential piece of kit. I would keep that actually in my coat pocket and not in my bag, so I always have it on me. And finally, the bag itself. Obviously, there are a huge range of hiking bags out there that you can choose. This one is an Osprey Kite 36, which I am in love with. It's got many great features, great straps to bring it tight to your body and adjust, and also obviously a standard waterproof cover which keeps all your kit dry. If you're looking for a bag and you're not sure whether to get a small or large one for day hikes, I'd say verge on the larger side, because there's nothing more annoying than having lots of kit to put in your bag that you can't fit in. And two final pieces of kit which are really important for summer hiking in the UK are some sort of face protection from a hat or a visor, and sunglasses, because the glare can be particularly bright when you're up in the mountains, so wraparound ones are good. I love this visor, which is actually a sailing one. You'll see it's got a little clip where it clips onto my bag to stop it getting blown away in the wind. So that's it. Those are all my top items of kit for hiking in the UK, which I hope might be useful for people who haven't been hiking before and are thinking about what they might need. So I've listed in the description below this video all the gear that I have referred to, which I hope is useful for someone who's just starting out hiking or looking at what gear they might need to go hiking for a day hike in the UK in the mountains. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful. If you liked it, please do give me a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. Hope to see you out on the mountains at some point soon. Take care and have fun.